Hola, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. How you doing? We're going to ease in tonight. Okay? There's going to be a lot of confessing from me, some people on the panel, maybe even some people in the chat. Tonight, we're talking about breakups, good breakups, bad breakups, what we've done to people to break up with them that left them brokenhearted, and how we were left brokenhearted. So welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I'm YouTube's and your favorite devil's advocate, Jen from On the Block with Jen. You can reach me on all social media platforms all across the world. That's TikTok, Instagram, Gmail, Facebook. On the Block with Jen at Gmail is where you contact me, okay? If you want to discuss a certain topic that you think we may have missed or would be good for this panel specifically, or if you want to collaborate with us or you want to interview somebody, you just want to join the block, pull up to the block and make it more personal, hit me on the block with Jen at Gmail if you have some business for me, okay? Glad you're here. If you're here for the first time, buckle up, baby, and where you been? It gets bumpy here. Sometimes it hurts being on the block, but it's good for you. We're like medicine. We are good medicine, as the natives say, okay? So let's get this party started. Tiger Woods, petty boots. I'm glad to see George in the chat already has the 411. I love it when my people have more 411 than I do, because I did some research, but it seems like George Cook got the mots in the chat. So let's bring up my people, the always lovely and talented Lily from YB Limited. I see you, Mama. I see you. How are you? I feel like we were opening the curtain and you weren't there. You was.
I was like, oh my God.
If you guys could see what I saw backstage, that's what Lily was sprint across the room.
Oh God!
Because I was saying it, but I wasn't looking at your box. So I didn't even see that you weren't there. But I saw you running back, so I just parlayed a little bit. Said the words long. Like I know.
You know,
all right.
Funny story. My very first paid modeling gig was for Vogue fashion show. And that's
you were late.
That was right. It's insane how that happened. I'm gonna tell you the story of how that happened. That's even crazier. But anyway, that's my very first show. It's that big. That's literally how I was introduced to modeling and runway. I only had like lashes and eyeliner on, no more makeup. And they were like 90 seconds of show time. I had nothing. I had my sweatpants on. I had to run, find my outfit, throw it on. They pushed me out on the stage, and that was my introduction to modeling.
That's how it is. That is how it is. Show badness. Haran DeMarco, how are you, darling? Are you ready?
Of course.
George Cook, Georgie Porgy, how are you this evening, darling?
I'm great.
Good to see you guys. George, I see you got the mots. You came with the 411, 411. I like it. You know more than me, George. You know more than me.
I saw that and I was like, again? That was my reaction. Again? And I said, okay. Then I went and looked, and you probably see it down there in the chat. This is like exhibit A of what the manosphere bitches about. This is, now, I'm not saying they're justified in everything they say, right?
Talk about it, George. Talk about it. Let's hear it. What do they say?
This is what they will pick up on, and they'll talk about this thing right here and say, see? And like I said, I know we're going to get into it. I'm sure you have a monologue you want to go through before we get into it, but
no monologue tonight. I want to jump right in.
Okay.
No monologue tonight. Because we all have our own personal stories to share. I already took care of the business. If you want to support On the Block with Jen, Cash App, por favore, hit me right there. It is scrolling on the bottom. I love the Cash Apps I get when I'm not online. Those are the sexiest. And plus, it's discreet. A lot of people don't like other people to know where their money is going. Throw your money in there. Nobody's business but mine and yours. I'll send you back a heart so you know I got it, just so you know I received it. Or if you want to super chat me, please throw it in the comments and I'll grab your comment, throw it up here, and we can dissect, okay? I know you guys have rebuttals and contradictions and arguments for us all the time. So throw it in there with a super chat and I'll see it faster, okay? I don't catch all of them, definitely catch the ones that are attached to the super chat. So welcome, guys. So long story long, we can't even go short with this. Tiger Woods yet again is having another terrible breakup. Okay, them pink toes got him on the ropes every single time. Okay, every single time. It just seems like Tiger Woods can't pick a woman, and maybe he can, but maybe it's him. We don't know.
He did,
right?
The first one.
Which one? The nanny?
Wife.
Oh, the nanny.
That was, from all accounts, she was pretty solid. You know, beautiful, loyal to him, all that business, and then he just couldn't keep his dick in his pants.
Well, he did make her a mama, so he must have thought highly of her. I'm assuming he did make her a mama, and then he ended up cheating with like 10 or 11 or 12 other women, and it just went ham. I still think somebody leaked it to this day. I still think he was set up. Not in the cheating part, because he was just, he's going to do what he's going to do in that tax bracket. Right. He's an athlete. He's going to do what he's going to do. Right. But I mean, like the way it spilled out, I think people were hating on him. And the easiest way to bring down an empire is send some pussy in there. You guys know that. Since the beginning of time. It's even in the Bible. Like, you want to ruin a man? Throw some pussy at him.
That's true. Samson and Delilah.
Yes, sir.
We also have to mention the fact that he's just not good with women, period. I mean, yeah, he cheated, but he was sloppy. He was all over the place. He was just he was, he behaved like a guy who just wasn't used to juggling more than one mate, and those guys, when you put money, power, and options in their hands, they always fuck themselves up because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. He could have had his life. He could have, did what he wanted to do with his, on his wife. He would have been the first dude, what I mean? But just don't be sloppy, man.
I always say that the women who are with these men, because I would assume and I will hope that they kind of already have it set in their head of who they're going to be with. They're dealing with somebody with many options, lots of money, and lots of pussy being thrown their way, right? So I typically like to think that they don't have a problem with them, quote unquote, cheating. They have more of a problem with us knowing about the whole situation.
Right.
That's when it becomes a problem. It's the ego and the embarrassment and things like that. So that's what and when you're doing it that sloppy, it's an embarrassment to the wife, and then you're putting her in a position to, like, a uncomfortable position to have to either dole out some consequences or not dole out some consequences. But either way, she's teaching you how to treat her.
Right. Also, I think that what really made it worse was that she has children with him. And, we could think what we want about her, but it's like when you have children, it's like you're going to protect your children. So you're kind of like, look, asshole, now your legacy is forever attached to this crap. Kids are going to get older. Our kids are going to see this eventually. So I think that heightens, the anger, right? Like, how can you be so damn dumb? Because come on, she knew, every woman who's married to an athlete knows what the deal is. Haran, I want to push back a little bit on you, okay? Just a little bit. Okay. You were saying that, he didn't know what he was doing. He was sloppy, but isn't that the MO of all athletes until somebody snitches? Isn't that just the way of life? Isn't that just the lifestyle? So was he sloppy or somebody snitched?
Jen, you and I both know that there are people, and athletes included, who aren't sloppy, who've been doing their thing for quite some time. But there are athletes, yes, who are sloppy. They're arrogant. They believe, they won't get caught. They believe, even if they do get caught, the woman's not going anywhere, so on and so forth. Did someone snitch? Yeah, there's the reality of that someone snitched. But guess what? The only way someone snitches is if they have the information. Someone has to have information on you.
Right, but I'm thinking it was one of the women. Well, right? Hell hath no fury. It should be tonight's theme.
How are you taking care of that woman, though? some of these guys ain't taking care of the woman. They're being very sloppy with them. They're being very disrespectful with them. They're giving them an incentive to snitch on them. There's plenty of mistresses who shut up. There's plenty of mistresses who shut up, take their cut, and keep it pushing. And the ones who get treated like garbage and so on, they turn around and be like, okay, yeah, I got something for you. I've seen it.
So speaking of going back to the manosphere, George, speaking of the manosphere, right? They want submissive women. Right. They want women. Now, I think Tiger Woods has always picked submissive women.
I was going to go there. I was about to say, was she F?
He always
she had
picks
the
submissive women.
Fs?
I think he picks women who are easily subordinate, subservient women, submissive women. One was a nanny. He married a nanny. His wife was a nanny. The other women didn't have careers. The one that's suing him right now was managing his restaurant.
Were they all
Lindsey Vonn was
fun
an
and friendly,
athlete.
or was it feminine and friendly?
Say again, George. Say again, George.
We were saying fit, feminine, and friendly.
There you go.
Right.
And but Lindsey Vonn was, if you want to talk about alpha female, she was a gold medalist skier.
How long was he with her?
3 years, I think, according to what I read. And and so he the thing that when I was reading in the article, and it says, oh yeah, this is not her first time in the legal system, and it's like, oh, she got sued for not making payments on her rent, her BMW. She got sued over like $300,000 on a business loan. She had her wages garnished. And I'm sitting here thinking as I'm reading that, I was like, Tiger Woods, you've got access to people who can find out anything they want about this woman. Yep. And why did you not vet her? And said, I would think people at that level do that, but evidently I'm wrong, And I just thought about it. I was like, and this also, think about this, guys. This guy's probably the best golfer. He's the GOAT. Compared to Jack Nicklaus, he's right up there with Jack Nicklaus, maybe a little bit ahead of him. In terms of, I don't know that much about golf, but I've been around people who do know it and talk about that. He's like a once in a generation lifetime kind of athlete in that world. And yet he's got this incredible discipline and focus on golf, but he can't. But when it comes to his love life, he's shit. He just can't. I guess that's. I think even Steve Jobs was kind of like that too. But brilliant in this area, but like in other areas of his life, just a complete.
Do you think it's the usual human beings trying to force the idea of monogamy, constantly trying to force this idea of monogamy constantly, and then constantly failing very, very badly? Had Tiger Woods been a single man, no one would have cared that he bed 10, 11, 12 women. We would have just been like, he's an athlete.
Right. Just like Diddy. Diddy has this wrong. He, put some on payroll. I think he just lost Young Miami this week, but we'll be back next week. But we know. There's more to the story. We're just talking about what's public, right?
For special effects purposes.
Yeah, for special. Yeah. So, with all of that going, and so because he's never been married, I don't think. It is what it is.
No, Diddy's never been married. He's not going to get married.
Exactly. I don't see him get married, and I don't think he should. So,
smart, very smart.
I think it's very smart. So he's a single man with lots of money and options, doing what he's doing. He
just had a baby. Just had a baby.
Way out. Everything's out in the open. Like, what can you complain about? This is what you signed up for, boo. So what can you say? So I feel like, that is the problem. That's the problem right there.
Do you think with Tiger specifically, right? It seems like he picks women that are, it's going to be hard for Tiger to find someone that has as much money as he does and as much clout. It's going to be hard anyway. But do you think that he should pick better, like they tell women, well, pick better. You keep failing, so obviously you don't know how to pick or vet, because this isn't the first relationship that goes left on him. And the women that he picks, I'm gonna be quite honest, and I'm gonna be very, very vain, and I'm gonna sound horrible, but if I was in Tiger's tax bracket, that lady could not look at me, let alone get in my bed. I'd be I'm already vain. I'd be super fucking vain. You'd have to be a supermodel. I got the money and the clout. If you look like the chick that's managing my hotel, no.
And that's
not in that tax bracket. Not in that tax bracket. No.
That's another point, Jen. Because there are guys out there who are in a particular tax bracket, but they usually mess around with women who also have something to lose.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, they protect themselves in that manner. But I want to get into the whole fit, feminine, and friendly thing, you know, that's often tossed around in the manosphere.
Thank you.
One of the issues that I have with that trope is that they don't necessarily really get deeper into the whole concept of it. They just basically say, you need a woman that's submissive and fit, feminine, and friendly. Yeah, but you have no money.
You said you have no money, but you know, I did a show.
Wait one second, Jen. It's like if you're worth if you make $40,000 a year, you're having a problem finding a woman that's submissive because you have no money. Now, if you were worth 20 million, 30 million, or even a high six-figure job, it'd be real easy for you to find a woman that's fit, feminine, and friendly and submissive, because there's an incentive involved, a human incentive involved, saying that, well, if I do just shut the fuck up and lay back, I might have a maid for the first time in my life. Let me try this guy out. Like Jen is completely against the idea of a coffee date. However, pretty sure she's not.
This is tea.
Against,
for the record, this is tea.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she's not completely against the idea of a coffee date if Mark Cuban asked.
Hello. Hey, Mark.
You know what I mean?
I'll take some whipped cream and and a little pumpkin spice.
Like, you always have to ask yourself, I always tell yourself and understand that who you are is entirely contingent on what a woman will say yes or no to. I don't think that's often explored enough.
Hello, No Saint. How are you?
Hello. Good evening. Hello to the panel.
Good evening. Good evening. I see a comment in the chat that's already unnerving to me. We can't use the excuse that he was sheltered. Okay. I understand someone being sheltered, but when you fly all over the world, you know what I mean? You may be underdeveloped in this way, but he was very developed in other ways. He knows that when you get married, you're not supposed to cheat. Like you don't have to, you know what I mean, be a genius to know you take vows and you don't cheat. Right. So that's not an excuse. Very intelligent man, knows right from wrong. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. And men that are sheltered do it, men that are not sheltered do it, men that are attractive do it, men that are not attractive. Men just do it. Right. I do want to push back a little bit on you, Haran. And here's why. Because it's the same thing I say about women, right? No matter, and we saw it with Kevin Samuels, and we see it in the manosphere, right? Men tell women, you don't qualify for that man. Nobody gives a fuck about your degree. Go lose some weight, right? Nobody cares. Come back fit, feminine, and friendly, and then we can talk. Here's the thing. Innately, no matter what a woman looks like aesthetically, she wants that strong protector, provider. It is innate within us and is not dependent upon aesthetics. Same thing with men. Even if a man has just one pot to piss in and half a window to throw it out of, he still wants fit, feminine, and friendly. It is innate within him.
Absolutely.
It is innate.
Absolutely.
And I did a show about that before. Men are going to want that. Regardless if we deem them worthy or not, that is what they want. Just like women want protector, provider. Are you stronger than me? Are you taller than me? And can you help me with these bills?
Can we look at the truth of it, though? A woman is always going to get what she wants before a man does, though. So a man can sit there and want all those things and not have a pot to fucking piss in. But that woman's going to get what the hell she wants to get eventually before that man does. Because a man who doesn't have a pot to piss in, is two doors
Well,
down from useless.
she'll get. I agree, but she'll get a version of it. She won't get the version, but she'll get a version of it.
She'll get a version a lot faster than that dude who doesn't have.
Well, because
get a version of it.
because vaginas rule. Because vaginas
that's
rule.
what I'm saying. This is the point that I'm saying here. So a man, you know what I mean, if he wants a particular thing in life, it behooves him to make sure that he always has a strong incentive. You can't just want shit in this world as a man. You have to have you have to make sure that you have a strong incentive, and you have to make sure that you do bring what needs to be brought to the table in order to convince and really have people like, you know what, I'm gonna climb on board with this. With a woman, like with a woman, she can, she might, shoot out of her league and so on and so forth, but somebody gonna pick her up eventually.
Yeah,
somebody gonna pick her up eventually.
Vaginas rule. Vaginas rule.
And that's it. Would help me understand this point. And I've said this on the show when I first started getting up here. But I'm gonna tell you, this is what helped me. When I lived by the whole stroll, and I lived by the bottom of the barrel whole stroll, and I would see ladies out there talking to themselves or talking to the tree with one sock on and no shoes. And they was out there every day because they get picked up every day. That's what I realized. Anything with a vagina can get something.
And guess what, Leland? You forgot. A lot of those girls get proposed to too.
Can I get an atheist amen up in here? Amen, amen. Can I get an atheist amen?
Prostitutes. A lot of people don't talk about that.
So let's talk a little bit about the case, George. I know you got 411 on it. So made her sign an NDA. Okay, like a lot of these guys do. However, she's trying to get it thrown out. She's claiming, you know what they always claim. I signed it under distress. Like I signed it. They forced me. They bullied me into signing it. So she's trying to get that thrown out. She also says she had a verbal agreement with him for tenancy. Like 5 years after the breakup, they broke up in October. And she claims they had a verbal agreement that she can still live there 5 years after the breakup. I'm shocked. This is what made me look at Tiger a little different. Oh my God, and I used to have the biggest crush on Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods. No more. Got over it.
I can see it.
Well,
you can see what?
Obviously, because
I can see it too. I can see it too.
I can see shit like that.
That's obviously
crushing over Tiger Woods. I can see it.
Yeah,
I crushed on him so bad when he was younger, but I'm mad at him that he hasn't gotten a hair transplant. He can afford it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with him.
Him and Prince. What is it, William?
Yeah, Prince William.
That's inbred genes.
So this is what, like, every time you think somebody got it together, right? You're like, oh, you're like dumb. So he did the old school. Okay, I haven't heard one of these okie doke petty moves in so many years that I didn't believe what I was reading. So he tells this woman, pack up, you're going on a short vacation. And she's like, oh, really? You do appreciate me. Yes. What should I bring? The shorts and the shoes and the sandals, and I'll bring the Chanel belt. Yeah. She gets to the airport and they're like, wah, 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 wah. You're not going anywhere. You can't get back to the house. Here are the papers. Get the fuck on with your life. Who does this in 2023? Who, like, he didn't think that was not it. That wasn't going to work. Who's in his ear? Is he in that tax bracket where no one's telling him this isn't it, Tiger?
Right. He's definitely
He's
definitely in that tax bracket. And I'm with you on that, Jen. I've known relationships that ended and the man had enough heart in a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment to allow the woman to stay because he had a bit of a slither of a heart, right?
Yes,
Tiger,
ma'am.
I'm assuming it's not in a 1 or 2-bedroom apartment. So there's a way in which he can cohabitate peacefully with this young lady until they could find further arrangements. So yeah, I'm side-eyed.
Here's what's killing me, and then one of the guys could jump in. But here's what's killing me: they don't even have to cohabitate. he can be like, go stay in my summer home, or go stay in my city condo, or go stay in my, you know what I mean? Just get up out of here. But you can stay over there. Just get up out of here. I don't want you in my, you know what I mean, atmosphere. I don't want you here. That's why it's peculiar. This story is peculiar because they don't have to live under the same roof. I'm sure he has a mansion. She was probably in the West Wing or the East Wing, but something happened where Tiger was like, I want you out, because they broke up in October. We are in March of 2023. So that means that she's been in the house since October, even after the breakup. So what happened between October and this month? Something happened where he was like,
they didn't explain anything. They didn't say anything. Right?
They didn't say.
I don't think she was in the house after they broke up, because they changed the locks on the door on everything, so she couldn't get back in.
No, but they did that when she was at the airport, George.
Right. So she could, unless he let her back in, she didn't go back. And
no, I'm saying that she lived there since the breakup. They broke up in October. She lived there until they dropped her off at the airport.
I thought that the dropping off at the airport part took place before or at October 2022. That's the way I read it.
That is some petty shit, though.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So you're saying that she's been somewhere else all this time, but she's backtracking to what happened in October.
Yeah, she's like probably major pissed off, right? And
right.
So she's like, I'm gonna get this motherfucker.
That's some residual pissed off shit.
Okay, so that's it's forever, Lily. With some people, it's forever.
It is. That's some residual.
Okay, because I got some forevers on my list. Trust and believe.
That's some retroactive pissed off.
It is. Oh, I got some forevers. I wear them like tattoos, but I'm just waiting to. I get in a certain position, you're gonna remember me, bitch.
You gonna be calling for Michael B. Jordan?
Remember me?
You remember the one? The one. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, George, if that is the timeline, then that makes sense. But what I don't get was that she said they had this verbal agreement that she can still be there 5 years after the fact, which sounds kind of weird anyway. Like, who tells somebody, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore, but you got 5 years in my crib? That sounds a little crazy.
Yeah. She could be making that all up. But to lay some shade on him. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You want to kick her out and get rid of her, right?
Mm-hmm.
He knows how she is. Cause my thinking is evidently she would, break up would be like an epic meltdown in the house, and he didn't want to deal with it. That's my thinking.
He definitely knows her. 6 years is a long time.
So I would say his lawyers should have said to him, look, here's how you can make this go away. Give her $500,000, $1 million, whatever it is. She signs the dotted line and she's gone.
Right. Like that's how
Just
Simon
Cowell
down
the road,
Simon Cowell gives parting gifts to everyone.
I would have did it. If I was in his tax bracket and I had some personal trainer I was smashing and now he was acting a dang fool, I'd be like, get the fuck.
Right. You have the check there. Next to the contract. Sign this for your check.
Right.
And it will include like all kinds of, terms and conditions of and now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want sign it and go about your business? Because that's what Simon Cowell does. Everyone gets a parting gift, they get a severance package.
But that's a man who keeps his shit tight.
Right.
He does. He says it too. He said it. He was like, me giving my ex-girlfriend a Porsche is like you give, you know what I mean? He's like, it's nothing to me. I does this.
But of course, the manosphere will tell you, no, even if you can afford the Porsche, don't do it. Go through the rigmarole.
I would do it. I would do it.
You're paying for your peace. Like it's just, you're paying for your peace and your privacy. It's worth it. That's what you have to look at. Like when I'm coming out of my pocket for any damn thing. Like sometimes I'm asking, what am I paying for? I may not be paying for this item. I may be paying for freedom or access or, so that's,
Yes. I would do it. And that tax bracket in a heartbeat. I'm already worth $350 million. Take $1 million and get out of my life. Like, we're good. You're good. I'm good. You're good. You need a car to the airport. You're good. I'm good.
But I just realized without being in this damn, his tax bracket. I've done shit like that just for my peace. I just realized that I've left people like, I don't want nothing from you. I don't even want the couch. I don't want nothing. I don't want the kids. I don't want nothing. Just leave me the fuck alone. Like, and so, yeah, and I've started all the way over just to have my peace. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I've had, we can get into, going back to what George said, I'm shocked that there was no vetting, but what if there was? And also, what if he knew and didn't care? And what if this woman gave up her life for 6 years and was at his beck and call? Is that worth something? Because usually when women are scorned like this, it's when they feel like, I've been in that situation, it's when they feel like I paused my life to run around and wipe your ass and clean that brown streak out of your underwear. I was at your beck and call, was there for you no matter what. And then it's like, oh, now you want to break up and cut clean, right? And the woman feels scorned, like, hold up, I gave up fucking 6 years of my life. You should have left me in the restaurant managing. I was fine. What if? Is that worth something? You know what I mean? Is that worth something?
If that's the way it kind of shook out, again, that's kind of like even more to Lily and my point about, hey, give her a settlement, get her on down the road, and then that way she's as made whole as you possibly you can, or whatever. But I think in the end game on this thing is they're probably angling for some kind of settlement. I don't think this will go to trial.
So you don't think it's going to be $30 million? That is what she's suing his estate for. 30 million big ones.
All that is just talk. Nobody likes to go to court. And if he goes to court, he's a fucking idiot. If he goes to court, he's an idiot. Overall, another thing that the manosphere doesn't talk about is that sometimes in life you just have to pay the cost of doing business. You just have to pay the cost of doing business, man.
That's a good point.
If it means like here's $100,000, here's $300,000, here's whatever, here's a trip to Tahiti and a big bag of money. Get out. If it's that, then it's that. You can't always want to punch your way out of a situation.
Great point.
Because at the end of the day, you might only just get bloody.
Great point. Sheesh.
Y'all remember when Mariah Carey had the inconvenience fee? Y'all remember that?
No, but it sounds funny.
Oh yeah, it was great. When she was with the billionaire and when she got with him and she got engaged, remember they got engaged. She was like, oh, I do under these conditions. And what it read was, if we break up prior to getting married, you owe me X amount of millions for inconveniencing me because I could have been doing something else.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, yes. And if you do marry me, then you're going to owe me X amount of dollars for my inconvenience. Oh, yeah. Y'all can look it up. It's a real thing.
I think what he should have broke her off with, even if he's on the cheap side, let's say Tiger's cheap. He's like, I want all these millions for me.
He gives me cheap.
They should have calculated the 6 years that she would have been a manager at that restaurant, just to keep it simple, right? Because that is where he found her. She was the manager of his restaurant, one of his restaurants. How much would she have made in 6 years? Cut her that check, send her on that vacation. We change the locks. We move forward. She's also claiming that she had $40,000 at the crib and they took that from her in cash. Okay. So I found that interesting. I find that interesting as well. I'm like, what, in a Nike box? In a Nike box? Like, what is this, the 90s? What's going on here?
She had 2 Bitcoin in her wallet code.
Exactly.
Like, you have $40,000 in a crib. What do you? I mean, that gave me a flashback to back to the Bronx.
Now I'm about to sue her for an inconvenience fee, and now she pissed me off. I'm over her at this point because that girl, she doing them insurance claims. We like, oh, I had my Mercedes Benz in my living room.
I am just shocked, right? Again, vanity, that's your worst sin. But I'm just shocked at her appearance. I'm sorry, I just am. When I hear that type of money, and you guys can hate me or agree, I don't know. But when I hear that type of money, When I hear that type of money, listen, if my friends are out of shape and I'm in that tax bracket, I'm like, I'm sending a trainer to your house 7 o'clock in the morning because I don't want you coming in the party with me looking the way you do. So open your door at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sending my trainer's trainer, open the damn door, put the donuts down because we all going to look good when we walk in the damn door.
Jen, I'm that friend.
Listen, in that tax bracket, Lily, in that tax bracket, what am I going to do with the money?
Right.
What am I going to do with the money? I can't take it with me to, you know what I mean, in a coffin. Like, that's what I would do. Like people, they go out and buy Bugattis and, you know what I mean, Louis Vuitton luggage. I'm not materialistic. So what I would do is travel and make sure my people are good. And that's what would bring me joy. Sorry, the Bugatti wouldn't bring me joy. The Louis Vuitton luggage wouldn't bring me joy because I know I can afford it. Right. I know I can afford it. So why do I have to show you or anyone else that I could afford Louis Vuitton luggage? You know my tax bracket?
Right. Let me just do the things that really make me happy. Like genuinely make me happy, minus trying to impress the public or whoever.
Right. So I'm like, it's about living the best way you can, as beautifully as you can, inside and out. She doesn't make sense to me.
She doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like I said in the chat, she was a downgrade compared to the other women that he's dated and been married to. I was like, I mean, she's not ugly. Okay. She's not ugly, but using the old 1 to 10 scale, she's probably a 6 or 7. I mean,
7 is generous.
That's
generous.
But
I just looked at her and I was like, Tiger, but why?
Like Tiger.
But see, that's the thing. Nobody, it's really looking from the outside and putting, I get it. Like we can all look like, you look at Andre Agassi, he was married to Brooke Shields, and then he went and got Steffi Graf. Now, looking on the outside.
Here come No Saint being a saint. Come on, give it to us.
No, looking on the outside, Steffi Graf, she's not Brooke Shields, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they had something in common. They both were tennis superstars.
Right.
He had an outstanding person. I think they're still married. I'm not sure if they ever got a divorce. So in his mind, he was attracted to whatever he was attracted to, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, as far as Tiger Woods, sure. Tiger Woods has had, well, you guys talked about it last night when you were saying that, that the C can get it, but the B is normally the one you're going to settle with.
Right. Well, but in that tax bracket, No Saint, that's a different world. That's a different world. A, B, and C, last night was for regular folks. It was for us. It was for us. All right. It wasn't for $300 million.
But that's what I'm saying, though. So why would Andre Agassi go with Steffi Graf over Brooke Shields?
See, here's the thing, No Saint. Here's the thing.
Help me out, Haran. Help me out. Thank you for the super chat, Don Levon.
When you have a certain degree of money, there's the difference between, okay, he's not being flashy, he's a little frugal, and then there's, bruh. Like, if I was worth $100 million, right, and I invited you over my house, right, and you came by, and I lived in like a closet, you know what I mean, like literally like a closet. Like taking a tour in my home is literally you just spinning around. You saw everything in one spin. There's something in you that would have been like, bro, you got enough money to at least have something that's big enough.
We are so vain. You know, we're all going to hell. But I'm glad because I'll see everybody.
Now, me personally, and I'll tell y'all this. Look, if I ever married a white woman, if I ever got involved with a white woman, I'm gonna have a badass white woman.
Well, the
reason why I'm gonna tell you this, because I know Jen gonna talk some shit. My people gonna talk some shit. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, but she's bad though.
Let me say this.
I'm not gonna get hated over.
I'm gonna throw not a little cap. I'm gonna throw a big cap at No Saint. His wife is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mr. Oh, but what about Steffi Graf? Your wife is beautiful, so you shouldn't even be talking.
But
thank you, Afro
I understand
Universe.
what you're saying.
We gotta acknowledge this super chat. Can I get an atheist amen? Thank you, Afro Universe. Big supporter of the show. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're enjoying the show.
That's how you see. That's so incredible how money talk, because he never said a goddamn thing. He just show up with money, and
He understands.
just people just don't understand certain things. Man.
It's so simple. Life is really simple. People complicate it.
You don't have to say nothing.
I have no idea what his opinion on anything is.
No,
Nor do I.
It doesn't matter. She don't give a fuck.
We don't give a fuck. Oh, and Haran, you reminded me of something. Remember, what you said? Gilbert Godfrey was that guy. You remember he was that guy. He was a millionaire and he lived in like a small New York City apartment.
Yes.
Like a one down small.
Yes.
Gilbert Godfrey, I'm not shocked about that because he's a freaking weirdo.
You know,
You know what I'm saying?
like
So
you said,
it's like
he
I
would,
can imagine that.
I heard stories about it after he passed away. Like Howard Stern was talking about how he was notoriously like stingy or whatever. Like wouldn't, he would do things like if you were broke,
He's but necessary evil said big dick energy. That's big dick energy. He's like, here's the money. See you later. I'm like, who was that mess, man?
But again,
we're all going to hell. Look how vain we are talking about looks and shit. How dare we think about
there's nothing wrong with
Because
that.
I'm not gonna lie, when I see, oh God, I'm going to hell because
somebody said, hold on. Somebody said, look at The Rock's first wife. Look at The Rock's wife now. Not just the first wife. The one now is very, very funny looking. The one now. Okay, so it's not The Rock. Like maybe he's like me. He likes Picasso's because I don't know.
Yeah, that's ability.
Maybe he just
like an ear
Picasso.
cut off or something,
Maybe unfinished Rembrandt.
An ear over here, an ear over here, and an eye over here.
Right.
Nose right.
I gotta have some type of imperfection. Let that nose be crooked or something.
It's that little bump from the time you got punched in your face on the school ground or something.
Something, please.
The chipped tooth. Like I need something.
Yes.
Give me something.
Hey Jim, where's Summerlin at in relation to you? Is it like to the north of Las Vegas or it's Las Vegas?
It's not north. North is the ghetto.
Oh.
I would say it's not south because I'm south. Probably, I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked you is that Agassi and Steffi Graf, they're still married and they live in. It says
they live in Summerlin.
He's from Vegas. Yeah, Agassi's from Vegas.
I didn't know that. I did not know. Yeah, Summerlin is where the rich people are in Summerlin.
I just want to point out something, and I'm very proud of Jen. It shows that we've come a long way, being two kids from the rough side of town. The way that she had a look in her eye when she mentioned the ghetto, it was just. I'm proud of you. We are different. We have removed ourselves from certain things. I looked at it, I was like, that's right. Own the bougie.
Yes, we have.
You know what I mean?
But you know what?
Tax bracket now.
But you know what's
fun?
It is true. It is different. Money's different. Life is different. And I live in a gated community. Did you know that? When I come home, I have to put a code in the gate.
Exactly.
He will never live that down. He will never live that down. Okay. What the fuck? A gated community? Who gives a? I have a gun, motherfucker. I can live anywhere.
Right.
The fuck wrong with you? I can live in North Vegas if I felt like it. And guns with an S, bitch, with an S. Most people just have that one little Glock in the closet. No, sir. You come up in here. You come up in here.
Right?
Huh?
We're talking about weapons, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You come up in here, it's gonna be hard to get out.
I knew you had guns. I just didn't know what we're talking about.
Oh, not this one too. But you know what I'm saying? I'm prepared. I'm prepared because I'm from the ghetto. Yeah, but you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared for life. Okay. I got my sights upgraded. I got the Ghost Pro triggers on my so it'll only take a little boop. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be struggling. I'm just saying, don't get me started on the toys because we'll take the topic somewhere else. So back to ugly wives and girlfriends.
All right.
Back to ugly wives and girlfriends. I will say, Tiger, I agree with George. He's had some beautiful women. That ex-mistress he was in court with, beautiful, beautiful woman. The wife, beautiful woman. Maybe, just maybe, he wanted something else. Maybe he was like, I did all the beautiful women. This one is different. She's a manager at a restaurant. Right?
Different, all right.
Right. Like, it's like, you know, not sorry. I don't feel sorry for him. I don't. He should know better by now, especially after that entire scandal. That wasn't a tiny scandal. That was a huge scandal. So I'd be very careful with women after that, right? Make sure you vet. You can afford a private investigator to follow her around that first week. You know what I mean?
But see, he's a perfect example of a C, and why the C is not usually good for long term. Because I'm pretty sure when Tiger Woods walks into a room, scandal and all, panties start dropping.
Oh, women just start undressing.
Right.
They just
It's like, fuck, I need this, bro. Like, you know, like, it's just,
who needs panties? Who needs panties? Tiger just walked in. Take these damn panties from me.
Right, but
They don't even have to take it off. The clothes just jump off themselves. They're like, what?
Yeah, they were probably telling him, Tiger, I'll help you with your golf game. I'll straighten out your putter for you and kiss your balls for good luck.
Could you teach me how to play golf? I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, but do we agree?
That's what money does, man.
Do we agree that Tiger, if he wasn't Tiger, maybe an A or B?
Right. That's the thing.
If Tiger wasn't Tiger, he'd be a B.
He'd be a B, okay.
Yeah, because he's still tall. He's still,
however,
an A? You would give him an A?
He's my A. He's my A.
He's I don't know. He's not.
You got to explain. Let Lily.
He wouldn't even get to the doorstep with you.
No. Let's explain this A, Lily. I need to hear it.
I'm gonna give you why he's okay. So he's a C as Tiger Woods. Okay. And it's clear why I don't need to explain that, right? But because of that, I believe because he's Tiger Woods, that's what's making him a C, that whole Tiger Woods brand. But really, he's an A. When you get that man home, you're like, what I do with this? What I bet you his conversations are probably whack or non-existent.
Gasp.
Right? He's probably boring. He's probably bad in bed, right?
Gasp.
Like,
the sequel.
In my head. He's giving me A in my head. Like he just doesn't, he's never done it I tried to squint at the TV. It still didn't do it. I moved the TV back, moved it a little closer, still didn't do it. And he just doesn't give me interesting. He doesn't give me interesting at all. He gives me a strong A+, could possibly be a B. I don't know, but he gives me a strong A+ minus if you take away the Tiger Woods brand.
All right, so let me explain why he's a B to me. Great point, Don Levon. Hugh Jackman's wife. Have you guys seen her? But in his defense, he just happened to stay with the woman who was slim and trim and beautiful, and then she just got fat over the years.
Okay.
He didn't meet her that way. And I dare I say, she's still attractive. She just needs to put the donuts down. But she's still pretty.
Gotcha. Okay.
She's still pretty. She has to get her ass in the gym. Get in the gym. She can afford it.
That's no.
Yeah, no, he stayed with her, but she was trim when he met her. She got big, and he said, "I still love my baby, whale and all."
Well, what about Jason Williams' first wife?
That's a starter wife. That's the quintessential starter wife.
Okay.
Quintessential starter wife.
Steve Harvey starter wife. All these starter wives.
The reason why Tiger is a B for me is because he has a good body. He's 6'1". He's Blasian, so that makes him exotic, right? That's why he's a B for me. Say that again.
Wait, he's Kabla Asian. I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say, could you imagine, Lily, to your point, you're in a bar and you're talking to this guy, and he says, "Yeah, I'm Kabla Asian." If he wasn't Tiger Woods, man, she would have been like, "This."
Wait, Kabla Asian.
Hey.
What is he? What is he? Is he white too? Is he white as well? Not just black and who's white in the family?
No, I thought he was Asian.
I thought he was just Thai and black.
Yeah, he's cob.
No, look, exactly. No, say it's right because it was a big thing in the 90s about this. Like they were making. I'm surprised I don't know. This was like a big thing. This is before like social media. It went.
No, I remember that. The black people came out with the patent to blackness, and they were like, "Hey,
right,"
and
but
they pulled them over.
It was funny because he mixed 3 different races.
But what 3 did he mix?
It was cockable Asian or something like that.
Cockable.
It was something like that.
Cockable Asian.
I would like to know because I know his mama is Thai and his daddy is black. So where's the white person that came in? Okay.
Yeah, there's a white in there somewhere.
And here's the thing, and here's the thing, and I promise you, I am going to do a show on that. And when I tell you Candela is gonna be hot up in this bitch, because I'm gonna discuss who the fuck owns the patent of blackness and who the fuck thinks they can delegate who's black and who isn't and how much and what percentage. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have that show. Okay, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do
China owns it.
I'm out. I'm leaving, Lily. You take over. I'm done. You really had me pause like this, China. I was like, maybe China does something. What are you doing?
It might as well.
That's the fucking problem. China owns.
Oh.
So anyway, yes, because of that, in my opinion, Tiger in his prime. Not now. Now he looks really weird. He looks like an aging Asian man, right? And not like a cute aging Asian man, like them little the Last Samurai or them actors. He looks kind of weird now. His eyes are a little buggy for me. But Tiger in his prime, coming through with that blazing shit, 6'1" in a restaurant. That's a B for me.
Well, then maybe that's the white part. Asians and black people tend to age very gracefully. You know what I mean? Like, especially Asians, they look 17 until
so maybe it is the
and then they wake up one morning and they look like 90 years old.
It's true. They don't
see like Asians, they look like 20 years old.
Because let me tell you, Tiger in his prime was something to behold. That man was something to look at. When he smiled, them big white teeth, he was 6'1", he was slim, he was my B.
Oh, but Jen, I told you who else freaks me out though, that everyone thinks is so, and you was like, huh? And I said, this person, like, he literally freaks me out. I don't know why he's spooky to me.
Who?
Drake, and that smile freaks me out.
Oh, Drake. I've never thought of Drake as attractive. He always gives me brother vibes. Like, yo, he's my bro, Drake. I've never seen Drake and been like, Drake. He's very
groomer,
much,
by the way.
He's a
groomer,
what?
by the way. He's a groomer, by the way.
A groomer?
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. That's what he's always given. He's always gave me predatory vibes. That smile and that look in his eyes.
The footage of that man on stage with a young child doing some things.
The 16-year-old,
Mm-hmm. And him and the Stranger Things girl back in the days when she was below 18 years old. He and her were like cool. They were texting each other,
and he slides in the DMs of
well, George, we have to do the May December topic soon. I know you sent me that email for the age thing, so we have to do that one too. Yeah, Drake I've never, Drake is cool. Drake is like the homie. Like if I saw him in a club, it'd be homie vibes for me. I'd be like, yo, what up, Drake? It'd be homie vibes. I've never seen Drake like, oh my God. Like, no, I don't get it. So I'm with you on that one, Lily. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
He
gives me predatory. I mean, it's something about his smile that kind of freaks me out. Who know who else?
He's corny to me. Like, when we were throwing around that word the other day, like Drake is corny to me. He's like the guy that, you know what I mean? He hangs out in the hood, but he's not.
No. But that's the part about him that I see through.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he plays up his corniness so that he lowers people's you know what I'm saying, like he kind of lower your guard. You're like, oh, that's just
you think so, Lily?
Yes, he just gives me predatory vibes. Every time I see
it's funny because I see the opposite. I see him, little Jewish boy from Degrassi. Okay, he was an actor. I see it the opposite. I think he plays up his trying to be cool.
I see that as well. I see. I don't know. I get it though. I see why people see that, but then I'm like, that's to me, that's all a part of his shtick. So that people are like, oh, look at him. That's just straight. He's just corny. We can leave our child here. You'll watch him. Like,
no, can't leave your child anywhere.
Right.
You can't leave your child
nobody.
anywhere.
Like, no damn
There's
body.
nobody.
Like, but he's just weird to me. Oh, but, and I want to announce we're in March, and no one's announced being pregnant by Nick Cannon yet. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
But did you see what Nick Cannon is doing? You didn't get the news. Did you see what Nick Cannon is doing? Nick Cannon. Lilia's like, what's going on? This just an exclusive. Nick Cannon they dropped the trailer. He's doing a reality show. Lily, panel, chat. The reality show's theme is he is looking for his next baby's mother. So it's like The Bachelor, but women are coming to try and be the next baby's mother of Nick Cannon.
Okay, Earth is officially together.
They're gonna show up too. They're gonna show up too.
Oh, they're gonna show up in droves. They are gonna show up in droves. So he partnered with, I think, is it Kevin Hart?
They all gonna look alike.
Yeah, he has a type.
They all gonna look like Jen.
Yep, he has a type. They got it.
He does. Yes, it's Kevin Hart, and it's called "Who's Having My Baby?" Hosted by Kevin Hart this spring on the E channel, the same channel that launched the Kardashians. It is called "Who's Having My Baby?" with Nick Cannon game show hosted by Kevin Hart on the E channel.
I ain't even mad, man.
That's where we're headed.
Hey, look, listen, if they show up and people are gonna watch, and that girl gonna get pregnant, they're gonna get pregnant, and it is, look, he's just monetizing off of the circus. So hey,
people are gonna watch. Tristan!
Wow. Jesus on the main line.
Jesus, take the wheel. Okay, guys. So the second hour is hot seat hour. I know you didn't think we were going to come up here and talk about Tiger all night, right? No. We are going to talk about who did we break up with as horribly as Tiger Woods broke up with that girl. And we're going to talk about who broke up with us in the worst way. I have some horror stories, okay? Straight Twilight Zone, right? Sci-fi, horrible stories. But I will pass the mic. Lily, you said you had a juicy one for us.
I don't have a juicy one. I'm kind of okay. Now I'm listening to you give this introduction, and I'm literally running back into the past and taking everything I said back about Tiger and judging his ass because
yeah, because now we're here. Now we're in the hot seat.
Because I'm a bad person.
That's 50% of the. That's 50% of the healing to accept.
Yeah.
Accept that.
Now, what's crazy is I've had my heart broken, but I've never been broken up with. I've always been the person to end it. So maybe I have more work to do in therapy. Now, this is, oh God, it's just hit me now. Then I just started this. Okay, yeah, I did have a fuck up situation. All right. The time where I ended up getting my heart broken. A guy, we were friends, we were confidants for about 2 years. You know how that is. And y'all know what my love language is. Mm-hmm. It's right here. So we're building this bond. We introduced sex to the situation. And
that's always fun.
It's always fun. And it was fun. Okay. It was like, out of all of my life experiences, it's probably one or two. Is that number one or number two? Okay. Mm-hmm. Because we built up all of that stuff. Okay. So we were doing our thing. I wanted him to, because being with me was a new situation for him. Right. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to slowly go into it, go in and see like, hey, are you comfortable? If not, Let's pull back. Let's end it. Da 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 da. Okay. He kept saying, nope, let's do it. Let's go further, blah, blah, blah. Then down to the I love you. Oh, okay, we doing that. All right, I love you, right? Doing all of that stuff. Okay, boom. He cheats on me. I'm crushed. All right, we're thinking this is the worst part of it. Okay, I'm in the fetal position. Friends are coming over with the soup and all of that stuff. Picking me up off the floor with the Ben and Jerry's ice cream.
Good times.
Oh, good times. Until he gets married right away, but not to the girl he cheated on me with, to one of my friends.
Oh.
Was it one of the friends who came over to console you?
Not one of them bitches. She would be dead.
I was like, was it the girl bringing the soup?
Not the soup girl.
What's going on?
Yes. And it's another part of the story. I'm not going to share that part. I'll share it behind the scenes.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. I'll let someone else go and I'll come back to how horrible I am. But yeah, that was bad.
I have a funny feeling Haran wrecked some women. Wrecked them. That's just my educated guess. Wrecked them.
I mean, if it's any consolation, if they prayed for retribution, then I got it back a few times. So, I do recall. This is way back in the days, the college days.
Get to the breakups. Get to the breakups.
I broke up with a girl via email. I just emailed her.
To whom it may concern. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I do recall that it was an email, and then she saw me later that day, and then I was sitting down, having a drink by myself, and she sat down like, we were still fucking, we were still whatever, and I'm just like, did you get my email? And then she looked at me, email about what? Like, maybe you just want to check it. And she was like, all right. And I told her I would be right back, and I left.
Jeez.
Okay, now I feel better.
Evil, man. Hit that like button for me. The stories are coming. Hit that like button for me, mi gente. Jesus H. Good Jesus on the line, Tristan. Lord.
That was one. That was that's just one for now. I'm not gonna,
Okay. Well, I you guys know, or you probably don't know, I was in a relationship with a narcissist, and a real narcissist, not just the insult people throw around, like you're a narcissist. That word is trending now, right? Someone can't say, I don't like your shirt. You're a narcissist. Like I just said, this shirt was not matching your pants. That's all I said. That's narcissism. Now I'm talking about the person I was with, real narcissistic personality disorder, the worst kind, probably the worst I've witnessed after studying about what it was. He even beat what I read in the books. So I was like, ooh, okay. So they always find very, very creative ways to discard you, right? To break up with you, but then they come back, break up, come back. That's like how they groom you or condition you to go missing. And I was in the shower, and the house was like one level house. So the shower had like a window that you can take a shower and look out the window at the same time. That's how low the window was. And I'm taking a shower, and he comes, he knocks on the window. He was like, hey, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, look at you outside on the grass while I'm in the shower. This is so cute. He gives me a kiss. He's like, yeah. I take a shower. I come out the shower. He's gone. Everything's gone. 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 And I'm standing there in a towel like, this didn't just happen. What the fuck? And that's the thing about narcissists. Like, they never break up with you. Like, the mind fuck is they never break up with you. Like when something is wrong, because then you're expecting it. You're like, oh, we just had an argument. So if he doesn't come back, it's because of X, Y, and Z. They do it when you're at the most high with them. When it's like, yay, everything is great. So I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. He's at the window and I'm taking a shower. And then I'm at the shower. Huh?
That's sadistic.
Oh yeah, no, they're evil. They are evil. And he broke out, gone, left me a little note like, well, I had, and that happened a lot during our relationship. And I didn't know what it was back then. Now I know what it is because I've studied narcissism and all that shit. But they have very, very creative ways of breaking up with you. And they always do it when you're at a high, right? So that's the mind fuck. That's kind of like what confuses you when you're not familiar with it, because you're like, what did I do? But that's what they want. They want you to feel like you did something wrong. So I got tons of stories, but that was one of them, like where, similar to like Tiger Woods thing, like, hey, I'm gonna send you on a vacation. And then it's like, psych, right? That type of thing. So I will pass, and then we can, I'll pass the mic, and then we can talk about, yes, very evil Tristan. And then we'll talk about when I'll talk about when I broke up with somebody that was bad, I thought. Because we've done it. We've been on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
We've been on both ends.
I'll tell another one, and that's it.
And that's it?
And that's it.
Yeah, right. It's like, I will not.
I just wasn't even now looking back at it, it wasn't even warranted for like a breakup. I don't know if it was a breakup, but anyway, I was dealing with this girl or whatever, it was going great or whatever. And then she noticed I started talking about her friend a lot. And
here we go.
In hindsight, I was talking about her friend a lot. And long story short, we kind of, I guess, I don't know if I got bored. It happened to me a lot. I got bored with her. And I guess, I said, what's up with your friend at the time? And then she did me a favor. She hooked me up with a friend.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She hooked me up with a friend.
And the friend went for it.
Yeah.
These friends.
What in the whole cake?
You beat her to the punch, Haran. In other words, she was about to break up with you, and then you
Probably, but either way,
it worked out.
I was young. I was young. I didn't give a fuck,
Tristan, you.
Those are just two things where I was a bit of a cad.
A bit
in life.
A bit. Georgie, no St. Tristan. Did you get your heart broke, or did you break a heart really, really bad? Give us the ugly stories, not the cute little, I told her I didn't want to be with her anymore. There has to be some dark shit.
I'll give the one where I was the one that got dumped. And it was we were both young. Like, I was thinking I was in my early 20s, and she must have been like 18, 19 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she did the early 90s version of ghosting me. And back then that was, I got something to do this weekend. I've got, this to do, that to do, we could never, we had dated like 3 months and couldn't hook back up, mm-hmm. And so me being the way I was, like, I'd call and all that. And then finally her dad got on the phone. She was living at home, and he says, look, she doesn't want to see you. Stop fucking calling here. And it was like,
ouch.
I was like, I learned a hard lesson. And the lesson was, look, when she starts talking about, hey, she's got all these plans and she doesn't want to make them with you, chances are she's probably dating somebody else. I should have just said, you know what? And maybe she was trying to hint to me, like, trying to send the signal. And so anyway, that like really kicked me in the ass. I was like, what could she just tell me? Now, obviously, a lot later, now I understand, why it went down that way. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Ouch. The parent intervened. Listen.
Yeah.
No, Saint. Tell us how saintly you got broken up with. No Saint sends flowers and candy before he breaks up with you.
No.
It's gonna hurt you more than it hurts me, baby.
First, like, my whole thing is it's hard for people. I'm trying to think. I've had some, when I was younger, I had this issue of chasing after someone, and then when I got them, losing interest. And I was kind of like, and this is back in the days where, I mean, I wasn't driving. I'm talking about like high school, you know, but I don't like confrontation. So I would just kind of disappear, like what they call ghosting today, you know, for no reason.
You were ghosting before
for no reason, you know. Yeah, I mean, for no reason, just, you know, I didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings, you know, that kind of thing. But in any serious relationship I've had, I've never really broken up with anybody. You're talking about high school where I'd chase and just lose interest. There wasn't even really a relationship because we never really got started, you know. And it's not easy to break up with me. So they were all pretty, I mean, it's not easy as in I will irritate the crap out of you. I'm the guy that will irritate you until you talk to me. You know what I mean? But
so you're out in the bushes with the music playing over your head?
Yeah, back in the
day. Carla.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I've never had anybody that I was in a serious relationship with do me wrong in a breakup. The only one I could say that was kind of a little weird, and it makes sense totally, is when I was with Michelle and I got transferred to Florida, and she lives out in California, and there was no real breakup, but it just kind of like, well, I found out she had a boyfriend later on. But I mean, you know.
Oh well. Yeah. Guess we're not. Yeah, Florida is a long way from California.
We still talked and everything, but it was just like, eventually it was just like, yeah, you got it. You know, she's not coming out to Florida, so yeah, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? But nobody's really treated me like what you're talking about is crazy. Like I can't imagine something like that. But,
yeah, it did. Per the nuts. I broke up with someone. And I think I talked about it before. So really quickly, it was, I don't know, I was feeling a ways about him as is. And the new guy swooped in and offered everything that I was looking for. But I found out later he was just playing the game of like, hey, what's going on in your life? And everything I told him I was lacking. He was like, what? Well, I can do that and I can do that and I do this and I do that. And he was like, you should call him because he doesn't deserve you and blah, blah, and break it off with him, blah, blah. And at the time, my boyfriend for 3 years, he had booked a cruise for us. You know, cruises are expensive and the names are not transferable. So I can't say I'm not going and then he can take his cousin, right? And you know, they up in the thousands of dollars. Yeah, Tristan, help me out. Because that's what happened. And here's the thing. Before these passport bros, this shit is new for them. So fucking new. Back in the 90s, I have friends that were police officers, correction officers, strippers, okay? They used to go in groups to the Dominican Republic and get the GFEs. Back in the 90s, these guys are like wet behind the ears with this passport shit. They're new to it, right? I had friends back then that always did it. They used to go in groups, right? Come back with videos and pictures and show me the craziest shit, right? So he was a police officer. He was going to go with his friends to the Dominican Republic. And I was like, no, the fuck you're not. My boyfriend's not going to the Dominican Republic with his cop friends. No, absolutely not. He was like, you kidding me? I already bought the flight. I can't tell him no. I was like, you're going to tell him no if you're going to be my boyfriend. So he calls me up. He was like, look, I lost the money, but I'm not going. So here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to book us a cruise. So I was like, okay. So got the cruise together and all of that. But we were kind of like, you know what I mean, hot and cold. And then the new guy swooped in. And so you see where I'm going. And I was like, ooh, this new romance. And he makes my heart pitter patter. So literally a couple days before the cruise, I call him and I'm like, I'm not going.
Oh. that is when Andrew Tate was born.
That's Andrew Tate's origin story. His origin story.
He's a fucking Joker. The origin story.
Right.
Is this how Bane happened? Like, what do you mean?
This is the prequel. This is definitely the prequel to
Passport Let me tell you something. Like that guy had me so wrapped up. I'm talking about wound up so tight that he said, call him cancel that cruise with him, call me back and tell me that you did it. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
I'm not going. And I told him, and
Look,
he was
man.
like, and my ex, well, yeah, obviously now, he was like, you are kidding. Like, I know you're joking. Like, you're kidding. And I was like, I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not going.
See,
He was like, do you know how much I paid? Blah, blah, blah. He was just going off. Like, he was just going off. And I was like, I'm not going. And and this was, wow, shit, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And I still feel bad.
I'm
feel
glad that I'm surrounded by
bad.
fucked up individuals such as myself. Because I think I shared mine.
Really, I was young.
I shared mine though. I think I just remember I shared mine on here. So I'll share it again.
Was that bad? Was that really bad, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
You at least could have faked it until after.
That was horrible.
Yeah,
I feel
it's not surprising.
right now.
It's
Like,
if you knew the relationship was kind of iffy,
back?
you should
Really
have
bad
told him
person.
not book the cruise. You know, you should.
I mean, I can't judge, man. I'm not even.
I'm judging.
No, judge. That's why we're here.
Right. I mean, until I tell my story, and then you don't get to judge me back, okay?
No, you got. Well, look.
That I did.
Well, look. I truly, honestly, still feel bad about it. I still, now that I'm older, I'm like, damn, that was a blow. He spent thousands of dollars. We had the passports, the ticket, all the information was in the little applications. We were ready to go. And he deaded that the Dominican Republic trip for me. And I was just like, I'm not going. And I just like twisted the knife. And I was like, I'm not. And I to this day, I still feel bad. I owe him one. I owe him one.
So, all right.
I
Have you
feel
ever
bad
talked to him
about
again or
one
no?
though.
Huh? What?
You ever talked to him again or no?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Did he
what-
go on the cruise?
I don't know what he did with it. I don't know what he did with it. But I saw him again. I saw him in Manhattan.
So
New York City.
So let me ask you this, Jen, and
Yes.
that is when new guy comes in, he tells you all the things you want to hear,
Everything.
and then you get with him, that thing goes in the freaking toilet, and then did you at that point say, I fucked up, I left this guy, this dude? Was he like a really good solid dude?
Yes. One of the most solid, except his dick. He's Ed. Remember Ed?
My story's about Ed Jr.
Everything about him was solid.
Gentlemen, I've said this on the panel before. A woman will prolong a relationship if that dick is amazing. Will prolong a toxic relationship if that dick is amazing. If he's a great guy,
Rodville, I do.
expiration date might be a little early.
Very
dick
true.
isn't incredible. It's just
So that's what was.
You?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say
No.
I'll say one thing.
But he was solid. One of the most solid gentlemen I've ever met. Truly,
I'll say
madly,
one thing
deeply.
that I did that would balance the scales.
Tristan.
I broke up with a girl after taking her virginity.
You.
That's worse than a cruise. That's worse than a cruise.
Hell.
That's worse than a cruise.
You are going to hell. You.
There are special places for people like y'all, okay?
That's worse than my cruise buddy. Her virginity?
Yeah.
Do you know she has that
was
scar
very
right now? Do you know that she's dealing with relationships right now because of that?
I'm pretty sure. She was, we were good. We were great, but I got bored. And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I always say this. It's not so much what you did a long time ago, but it's how you feel about it today that kind of matters to me. So
yeah, I mean, I do feel bad.
Right.
I do feel bad. I mean, I was very much a piece of shit when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger, no, at the time I didn't feel bad. You know what I mean? When I was younger, I was pretty much a piece of shit. You know what I mean? You're young, you're doing whatever. You know what I mean? Older.
Right. And let me tell you, I wear it. I wear it like worse than a tattoo because I had a tattoo. I got to laser it off. It's gone. But that is like something I never forgot. I still think about it. He probably, you know what I mean? He probably doesn't think that I think about it, but I'm like, here I am 15 years later. I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. And in the back of my mind, I'm still always like, I owe him one. I owe him one. And I'm going to circle back. I promise that to myself. But yeah, I feel I do. It's something that really, you know what I mean? The way it was done, like back then I was young, I was on one, and I thought I was really like, yeah, I'll show you. So, you know what I mean? We had been together 3 years, and I wanted more of a commitment, but he was a commitment phobe. He couldn't even say I love you because he had trauma from when he was a child. So he couldn't say the word. So he was like, I'll always show you that I love you. I will always provide for you. I just can't say those words. And I was like, okay, fucking fine. So I'll say it. And before me, he had a girlfriend who was also a police officer, and she wanted to marry him. And he was like, I can't get married. And then she went and got married like a couple months later to another cop. So he had been going through some things, but he did tell me that I was the first woman he'd ever met that sent a yellow stripe down his back. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're the first one that ever scared me because you're the first one I met that I felt that I could commit to. And that scared me. So, he was going through his thing and I wasn't mature enough to empathize. I was like about what I wanted. That's where I was, right? It was my late 20s and I was like, I don't care. Like, this is what I want. And this new guy is going to give it to me. And I'm like, fuck you and your cruise. 3 years. He was 3 years, 3 years older than me, 3 years older than me. And, but solid guy, except for, right. The penis. And we were already, right. And we were already kind of like, he was at the point where he was like, I don't want to lose you. So if you feel the need to have sex with someone else, do it, but don't come back and tell me. And to a Puerto Rican woman, that is death, right? Because I like feeling, my love language is I'm being possessed by this man. I'm his property. I'm his, you know what I mean? So when someone you love and in love with, and I'm very much like, I don't want anyone else in the world to touch me or look at me. I am his. When that person looks at you and says, hey, go fuck somebody else, just don't tell me about it. So what we eating tonight? I was like, you're going to give me away? You're going to give me away?
Yeah, he pretty much told you the relationship was over then.
Yeah, he was kind of like, just don't tell me and we'll be cool. And I was like, and then I did try it. I went out and got my cooch ate. But when I came back, like it changed the dynamics of our relationship. I was like, yeah.
Why would you just go do that? He could have done that.
What?
Your
Viagra?
No, your cooch ate. You said you got your cooch
ate. He wasn't sexual.
Oh.
And
like
Junior
sex with him.
Listen,
and I'll be 100. Sex with him. Thank you for the super chat, Don Levon. Don Levon said it was Ed, then it's understandable. Let me tell you, sex with him started messing with my head because I felt like a lesbian. Because we had to, and here's why I'm gonna get really graphic. We keep it real on the block and we say these stories so other people can learn. But it started messing with my head because I'm like, I feel like a lesbian, like we can only have sex like rubbing on each other.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't get it up. And I'm like, wait, I've watched porn. This is how lesbians get off. I'm not a lesbian. Shout out to my lesbians. But this is not what I signed up for. Right. I didn't sign up to grind on the limp dick. Like this is not good. And then we went from that to, he was like, I don't want to lose you. So if you have to see someone else, I understand. Just don't tell me about it. So now I'm like, and now I'm a lesbian and now you're giving me away. So now I'm like a lesbian who's being given away. This is too much. So when the new guy came in, over 6 feet, muscles everywhere, talking about I'll dick you down. I was like, fuck you and your cruise. Right. I don't want to go on a cruise. Fuck you and your cruise. I'm not going. That's how it unfolded, but I regret it. I regret it.
No Saint looks a little annoyed.
Yeah, no. My whole thing was
this is what happens. No Saint. This is the world. This is what happens.
Listen, I was engaged before, and we broke off the engagement, and we still went on a 3-day cruise. So I figured you could have gone on the cruise. It would have been better because and then break up with them. Here's the thing. Yeah.
I was fully planning to. No, say I was fully. It was going to be like our third cruise. Cruises were like our thing. I was fully planning to, but the guy, because he was very good at manipulating, he had the pressure on me. He's like, you know what I mean? It was interesting the way he did it. He was like, you have me here now. You don't need that guy. So you don't want to lose the guy who's about to give you everything you've been wanting for 3 years.
I when I put myself in your shoes, and if I'm in this relationship and then I have another hot girl over here telling me all these things, I probably would have. Yeah. I mean, I got to be a little bit lenient on you, but I was just thinking from the standpoint of, I didn't know you couldn't read book.
No, you can't change the name.
Because I was thinking I could have gone with my friend instead of going with my ex-fiance.
If he went alone, because you can't switch the names, unfortunately. And I was very adamant. Like I was like, I don't care. I feel terrible about it. I feel terrible about it. I really do, because he's so good.
In that young age, I can see it. Maybe today it would be a different, even with me.
Yeah. No, today I would. Yeah, today I would be like, look, dude, it's over. Like, this is dead. We're dead.
I don't think we really discuss, and it's a very sensitive topic.
You're making me feel worse than I've carried this for 15 fucking years.
I'm thinking about that. I'm like,
you are
surrounded. Wait one second.
You're surrounded by fucked up individuals like me, so don't feel bad.
Wait 1 second. I think that we don't take the time out to really acknowledge how important sex is and how it can really influence our, decisions in relationships.
Yes.
A person could be a person could be a great person and so on, but they just don't get your shit popping. Look, Lily, the girl that I showed you earlier today, I knew her in my early, in my early 20s. We met when I was like 22, 23. That was maybe 10 years of some just toxic, just horrendous, horrible things. But the sex was incredible. And we're talking about, I found out at a very inopportune moment I was the side dude. And the same day that I found out I found out that I was the side dude, she found out she was the side chick. So we're both terrible fucking people. You know what I mean? Just lying to each other, consistently. But after that, it was just more amazing sex. And, it's kind of hard, man, to say goodbye to these things, because cool sex or nice intimate moments, they're easy to find. But that shit.
Don Lemon. Ahoy, matey. That's all I got to say to Don Lemon. Ahoy, matey. All aboard. But look, if it's any consolation to the bleeding hearts that are listening to me, the relationship that I left him for was the worst 11 years of my life. That dude dragged me ragged. Okay. I lost everything, my job, my money, my friends, my family. I lost everything. So if karma is a bitch and it's real, I got tenfold. Okay. I mean, tenfold. And yes, it is. Yes. Oh, yes, wow. It is. It's staying God. And check this out. You want to see karma was really stomping my ass out? Let me tell you something that happened to me. Karma stomped my ass out. I was shooting a music video. I was in a car. Okay. And I can send you guys this music video if you'd like. So you can see what I'm talking about. I was playing the lead girl in the music video. It's on YouTube. I had the camera mount. They had the camera mounted on the car, the lighting in the car. I got lost. I was in Hunts Point in the Bronx.
Oh God.
I'm driving around, and the scene was me crying, right? Because I was mad at the boyfriend. So I got tears and I'm driving. So since I'm concentrating on the act, right? I'm just driving around the block. Now I'm fucking lost. I'm like, holy fuck, I don't even know where I'm at. But the camera got the performance, right? So I was gone so long, according to the director who borrowed the car from the guy. The guy called the police and said I stole the car.
And guess who shows up?
True story. True story. Motherfucker said I fucking stole the car. I get squad pull up on me with their guns out. Not just pull me over like, hey, ma'am, is this your car? No, I didn't get that.
Tapping on the window. Tapping on the window. Like,
no, there was no tapping. Right. There was none of that. There wasn't, ma'am, excuse me, is this your car? They squad pulled up, gunpoint. I'm at Hunts Point. I'm in Hunts Point, crime territory, hooker territory.
Right.
These motherfuckers roll up, guns out, get out the car. I was like, what the fuck? And I was so fucking pissed. I looked at the cop and I was like, motherfucker, who would steal a car with a fucking camera mounted on the hood? I was so fucking pissed off, right? I get cuffed. I get driven to the precinct. Guess who's at the fucking desk?
No.
Oh, shit.
I can't make this up.
That's
I can't make this up.
Right there. The universe.
Guess who's at the fucking, not even in the back. It's not even like he was in the back and they went to get him. He's at the front desk. And guess what he is now? A fucking lieutenant.
Oh, God.
He's a fucking lieutenant. He's no longer
like
a cop.
Tyler Perry movie. This is.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I walked in, okay, dressed to the nines because I was playing the lead, right? Handcuffed. I was handcuffed. They didn't even bring me in unhandcuffed. Handcuffed. He looks at me. I look at him. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Because he lived in Brooklyn. So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in the Bronx? And he's looking at me like, what the fuck happened? He went. So then he points to the cop and he was like, take the cuffs off her. Take the cuffs off. So they fucking take the cuffs off. I feel like the biggest penis on the face of the fucking earth. And I'm dressed to the nines. That music video is still on fucking YouTube. Them bastards fucking, released the video. So you don't see, of course, what happened to me, but you see me, the girl in the car crying and mad at the boyfriend. So you see, listen, guys, I got paid back really, really fucking bad. If karma exists, she was on my ass. True story.
That's some irony right there. Because
true story.
In that moment, you felt like a big dick, and big dick got you in trouble in the first place. Situation.
Listen, I couldn't believe it. I was like the last person I thought I'd ever see in my life. He lived in Brooklyn and worked in Brooklyn. What are you doing in the Bronx?
How was his energy with you? He was cool. He was
super cool. He was just like, why are you still doing this? Why are you still invited? It was so fucking humiliating. I was humiliated. I felt stupid. Here he is, a fucking lieutenant, and here I am playing fucking lead in a music video for some fucking rapper. It was horrible. So, he's lieutenant. So he was like, take the cuffs off her. And then he was like, just sit down. He was like, I'll be back. And then it was a big L. And then he went in the back and I guess he did the fucking paperwork or whatever. And he was like, you can go. And I was like, I guess I'll just call the cab now.
The manosphere, they love.
Yeah, and that's the other thing probably made you feel worse. He didn't get an attitude with you. He was nice to you.
No, he went into savior mode. He went into savior mode. He was like, get the cuffs off her. And he sat me in the room. He was like, what happened? What are you doing? Why are you here?
You already know dudes is like, she went for the Pookie dude. And now look at what happened. That dude is a simp. I'd have crushed her. And what I mean, that's he
was. But when you have power, exactly.
When you have Jordan moment.
But here's the thing. That's a great point, Haran. But them guys talk from a place of powerlessness, right? He's a lieutenant. He is set. He is pizzade. He lives in a condo, Midtown Manhattan. So he has power. So he doesn't have to wield it. He's a fucking lieutenant. He retired a lieutenant.
That is the reason why I told you, Jen, when I said that Michael B. Jordan played himself. Dog, you got millions of fucking dollars. You getting Marvel checks.
Yeah.
You just got a movie that this
he acted like a manosphere dude. He acted like a manosphere dude.
It's like you won. It's not a big deal, man.
But I was like, there's no. It was like you can't write shit better than that. I was like, there's no. When I walked in and locked eyes, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. He looked at me. I was like, and I'm cuffed. I was like, this is not happening. This is not happening. This is not my life. This is not happening. And then he walks up. He was like, what are you doing? What is? Yeah, no. He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was in a car and I was acting. And then he was like, take the cuffs off her. He was like, and then he took me in the room and I was like, oh my God, I would fucking die if I ever wanted to die. And it all came back. I'm not going on a cruise. I was like, oh my fucking God. Somebody help me. And I was alone. Oh my God. It was terrible.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, it was bad. So I'm like, look, karma came back around and stomped my ass. Stomped me.
It usually does.
It does. I got mine, so it definitely comes back.
And even with that, I still feel like I owe him one. I still do. Because I pulled out last minute pause. Yeah. And it wasn't his fault. His dick didn't work.
Right.
I mean, he can't, shit happens.
Nowadays you can sue Viagra. You can say that the company, because their product didn't work, caused you emotional distress and led to the
he didn't want to.
That led to you being in handcuffs during a music shoot and being embarrassed in front of the person that you broke up with, the destroyer.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. And he didn't want to go to he didn't want to get help via the doctor because he was saying that everything goes on your police record. When they go to the doctor, like it's on their record and then other people can see it. So he didn't want to go to the doctor for that.
Good question though. I mean, you could win online. You could still win online and got some generic shit.
Yeah, but back in the day, it wasn't as common as now.
Yeah.
Like there was a time where we were trying to do it and I just started crying and I was like, I can't do this. I can't live like this. And he got up and ran out and he went to get like pills from the fucking gas station, those fake like gas station joints. Yes, that's how bad it was. He was like, I'll fix it. And he went to the gas. You can't write this. And he came back with the pills from the gas station. And he was like, I'll fix it. We'll fix it. And it wasn't fixed.
Yeah, that gas station pills, man. That's a.
He tried, but it was, and this is the guy that after we broke up, he was still putting money in my account.
Right.
He was still putting money in my account as if he owed me something. No, he's a salt of the earth, amazing human being. That's why I'm like, I'll never forget him. No. I owe him some.
Did he ever marry?
Great question. I do not know. I'd love to know. I do not know.
Well, since we're all falling on our swords here.
I'm like stabbed right now. I'm like bleeding out.
This one for me is it's kind of like, have you ever done something, you got back at somebody and you said they fucking deserve it, but at the same time after you did it, you're like, was it really worth it? And this
the punishment didn't fit the crime.
Yeah, of course.
And so I got involved with a married woman at work. And so it was one of these situations where I fell for her. She wasn't so much for me. And I tried to push it. And then what she did is she filed a complaint and said, hey, I'm causing all these problems. And to make it worse, she like humiliated the fuck out of me in front of like everybody, how that kind of news travels where I worked at the time. It really was a big deal. And I was so humiliated and I was so angry. And it was one of those situations, she was in a position I couldn't do. It was kind of like whatever she said was right. Mm-hmm. And I was automatically wrong. And the only thing that kept me from getting fired is the women that were in her office that worked with her knew how she was, and they went to the boss of bosses and said, hey, look, this isn't her story, isn't quite all that. So long in that, but I was still pissed. I was fucking pissed. And this kind of freaked me out because looking back over it, because I was like, I waited 2 years to get her ass back. And I was like, and I said, so I wrote a letter to her husband and told her about the affair. And then you find out she also was having an affair with another dude And so I did it, and it really.
You regretted it?
I don't regret it.
Because I don't think the punishment. I thought the punishment fit the crime. Actually,
Yeah.
It wasn't.
But at the same time, it's like this. It's like she did what she did in the open. Everybody saw it. I couldn't come back and say, "Fuck you." Yeah, I'm the one who did this. And so I had to kind of keep it under wraps. But it's like everybody fucking knew that I did it, but they couldn't pin it on. And so the reason I worked in a courthouse, with judges, and she was like a judge's admin, and they are like, and as y'all know, in the courthouse, the judge is God, and then right below that is his admin, which might as well be God too. And so it was a hard lesson for me. I learned, number one, don't get involved. What's the old saying? Don't shit where you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, her being married, I knew better, but she was fucking great looking. She was a Latina, okay, and Mexican descent. She was real white though. But anyhow,
a white.
She was, So she was like family from Mexico, all that stuff. But anyway, it was. I look back over it now. I was like, I said. I was really emotionally immature at that point in time. And I feel like I was like, I felt embarrassed that I allowed myself to have that happen. But I grew up real fast out of that. And but yeah, that's like probably maybe the biggest thing I've done, I think. And it kind of feels good to kind of talk about it here, so it's like,
I mean, it is kind of cleansing, I gotta say. We were all, and let's be clear, when we did all this stuff, we were all emotionally immature, like all of us. That wouldn't happen today. Like today, I'd straight look at a guy and be like, your dick doesn't work, do something about it or I'm gone, right? It's a different situation now. I wouldn't have somebody book a cruise and then be like, I'm not going. I'd return the money if I can, do it, go or whatever. So it's a different world. It's a different world, but it's shit that we do, and karma got us, I'm sure, in one way or another. You can't make these stories up. This is how it went down. I still feel bad about it. I'm sure he's moved on, but I'm sure it's something he thinks about as well. You don't forget something like that. Mm-hmm. But someone says success is the best revenge. Absolutely. I mean, you're sitting there, you're a lieutenant, you're at the front desk, fucking shiny badge and shit. And here comes the girl who dumped you, handcuffed. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Does it get better than that? Right. Look at cute. At least I was looking cutely.
Right.
That's a hell of a kink scene, though. You kind of think about it, but yeah. I'm just thinking about it.
Hey, Lieutenant, can you get me out of this?
Right. It's a hell of a kink scene, though. But yeah.
When it's planned.
And then I get some revenge dick right in the cell.
Right.
Yeah. No, it didn't turn out that way, unfortunately. I just took a cab home all by myself. That was a long cab ride home, man.
I bet.
I was sitting in the back of the cab like.
Yeah, the thing that man, you over there start thinking about your life choices.
Yes.
I've been there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What kind of got me about myself, it was like there's that dark side of me that came out, and I was kind of like, whoa, I am one vindictive son of a bitch. You cross me, I will fucking burn the ground beneath your feet. I'm like,
same.
I'm like, wow. And I was
what's your sign, George?
Sagittarius.
Okay.
What is this? So I'm a
what day? What day? December.
Y'all too.
December 7th. Mm-hmm. My dad is 3rd, December 3rd.
December 7th. Who's on December 7th?
Me.
George.
D-Day.
Oh, baby.
Oh. My dad is December 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm on the first day.
That's actually Pearl Harbor Day, right? December 7th.
Tristan, I know you done broke some hearts. Chat. You could throw it in the chat what you done did to people. Don't just come looking at me like I'm a fucking goldfish in a tank. Y'all did some shit too.
Okay,
y'all did some shit too.
I'm about to share mine because it's bad. But I'm amongst good company, so I don't feel as bad.
Is it worse than mine? Is it worse than what I did?
AKA people who ain't shit either, right?
Right.
I'm about to say, I said, did she just say we all ain't shit?
But you know what?
Pretty much.
Tristan's
My
like,
friends are a lot like Jesus's friends, so don't worry about that. It's on the line. Okay, so mine though, it's so funny though because I'm listening to the parallels. It was Ed Jr. And so he was suffering from Ed, but this was 5 years though.
You were together 5 years?
5 years.
So you did 2 more years than me. I did 3 years, and I was like, I gotta get out of here.
I always tell people it was the kids that kept me the other 2 years, right? Because I knew if I broke up him, I had to break up with them too, right? So like my bond was so tight with them, But anyway, so, and like I said, I never cheated or anything like that. I was totally faithful. Just looking back, I'm like, I would never give away 5 years of not 5 days of my life anymore.
Same. I didn't cheat either. Same.
Didn't cheat and had plenty of opportunities to do so. But when I'm in. That's one thing about me. I'm that person. Yeah. And the thing about him, he had a lot of unicorn-like qualities as well. Like still to this day, I'm just like, damn, like those qualities they're all begone now on this earth, this thing we call Earth. And so let me back it up a little bit. When we first met, I didn't have shit. Well, I told this story before, but I'm rehashing it because everything's new. I didn't have shit. Why Be Limited was just started. It only had a name, and I had this dream, and I'm like, and me and this guy started dating, and I'm like, hey, I just started a business, and I'm going to be this, and I'm going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yay, you can do it. And he was supportive in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then time went on, and those dreams started to manifest. And he's sitting there with Ed in his pants, and it started to fuck with him in his mind, right? Mm-hmm. And so it started to bring out the worst in him. And to the point where it wasn't so much as jealousy. Like we didn't go through that. He never accused me of sleeping with anyone. But what he would do is I could be like, oh, you didn't do the dishes? He'd be like, well, if you want to go fuck somebody, just go do it. I'm like,
oh.
I was just trying to check and see if I need to do dishes or you was going to do dishes, So it was like that. So anyway, things started getting worse. And like it started off like it would happen and then it wouldn't happen for a while. But then it started being closer and closer together with like the nastiness and getting worse, right? Mm-hmm. And it was and I started realizing what it was. It was like my growing career, the attention, because not to be funny, in Atlanta, like I became really, really popular in Atlanta. Like, so everywhere we would go, people would say things and stuff. And it got to the point it was so uncomfortable. If someone came up to me and quote unquote recognized me, I knew it was going to be a problem when we got back to the house. He was going to find a reason when we got back to the house. Okay, boom. So it, like I said, started getting real toxic. Then finally I was like, you know what? I'm trying to be logical here. I might have to just go ahead and break up. But we're pretty much married, like common law marriage type shit at this point, right? Mm-hmm. I tried to break up with him, and when I tell you I never saw this in him before, but the look in his eyes, and it was like he was ready to lunge at me, right? And he was basically, you're not going to leave me. You are never going to leave me. You're not going, and that's when I realized like, ooh, okay, let me shut the fuck up. Because like we always say, we check out way before we leave out. Yeah. So I was checked out. I had checked out 2 years prior. So now I already know I'm leaving. I already knew I was going to leave at some point, but now I'm ready to leave. But I'm realizing I don't know if this man is going to let me leave. So I start plotting, and I start plotting my exit. And I had my date and everything. But leading up to that date, I was a fucking Stepford wife. I was FFF. I was, and I was always pretty much her anyway, but I turned it up. Like I became a total Stepford wife. Mm-hmm. The day came, It was the 18th of, I think it was August, 18th of August, 2007. And I remember because I was counting down the days on the calendar, like, am I really going to do this? Am I going to do this? I think I'm going to do this. He gets up to go to the gym that morning, and he comes home, and I disappeared off the face of the earth, like literally off the face of the earth.
Oh, you did one of those. That's terrible.
And I'm talking about to the point where I blocked the family. Like, I didn't want anyone to have access to me. I blocked, like, it was, like, I felt horrible. Like looking back, you know, I felt horrible because I'm like, had to be a better way I could have done it. But at the time, I thought that's, you know, and what was crazy is, so about a year later, I'm sitting downtown Midtown with one of my girlfriends eating. We're just talking at a restaurant. You know, I'm like, it's a cute day. Let's sit outside. You know, let's sit outside. I'm sitting outside. Eat. Oh, girl, right now, come here. What you got? I see this guy come walking down the street. Mind you, we're at one of those restaurants where you're on the sidewalk. Right? Yeah. Okay. I look up.
Interesting.
I look up. Yes, that was me. And I went, because me and the girl are talking. It's like I'm looking at her like this, but I'm looking past her like it's like a ghost. I'm like, and that's all I could do was this. And he walks right past. He didn't see me. And yeah, I got through that, but it was about 2.5 years later. We finally was able to connect. I was able to make a verbal amends. And I've never shared this with anybody, but I've actually made a financial amends as well. Like, I actually did go back and do something because he was not a bad person. He was actually the best person I've ever been with. And if it wasn't for like one major really, and it wasn't even the Ed thing, that wasn't the thing that was breaking us up.
Really? That was killing me.
It wasn't that. It was something else. But and I know why, because I think about why, and it was just because of that time period. I was laser fucking focused on my career. Laser. Okay. I've never been so focused in my life on anything. So yeah. But once I got to a place where I achieved a lot of goals and I was like, what a dick at, you know. So
yeah. Now I was working when that was going on with me. I was working corporate, so I wasn't even in the arts. I wasn't even in acting. I was 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Marsh & McLennan, U.S. Trust, PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was very, you know, and I thought that was going to be it for me. So not having a sex life and having a boyfriend really, really was wearing on me. I was like, you know, and then it's one thing because I'm, you know, I'm long suffering, right? Not anymore. But I was back then. And I'm like, on top of the ED was happening. He wasn't a sexual person to begin with. Good old, you know what I mean, Southern boy. He just wasn't sexual. So I'm like, you know, there was no supplementing like with finger play or mouth play. You know, he was the type that had to be hyped up to have sex. But again, he suffered a lot of trauma, I found out later. But we did speak after all this madness happened. Like, we went to a bar downtown and kind of like talked everything out, and I apologized. Like, I still feel bad about it. We talked a little bit, and then that was like the last time I saw him. We didn't speak again. And when I tell you that man vanished off the face of the earth, because honey, I looked. He's not on Instagram, and he hasn't been for many, many years. Like, every 2 or 3 years I check to see. He's not on Facebook. He's not on Instagram. He's not on Twitter. He's not on TikTok. Like, I'm talking about vanished. The only information I found of his was that he retired from the police department, you know what I mean, lieutenant level. That's the only thing I know. But vanished. He has no social media, but he never did. He was never into it to begin with. So I guess as he got older, he was just like, what's the point now? But I wonder too, George, is he married? Is he, you know, what is he doing? Does his dick work? Does he have children?
Let me ask you this about the narcissist you were hooked up with.
Hey, hi, Granville Guillory. Yes, we love Sherelle. Tell Sherelle I said, hey, thank you for the super chat. What were you saying, George?
The narcissist you were hooked up with.
Oh, God.
Do you think if you had broken up with him, this dude would have fucking went off on you, because what I've been told about narcissists is that they're like supreme control freaks. And it's like you flipping the script on them like that. It's like, whoa, you know, it's like, who the fuck are you to do this to me? I'm, you know, and then they get
Okay,
violent.
I actually did. Once I learned what it was and the game he was playing, I said, now I'm going to flip it on you. He wanted to meet up for my birthday. I met up with him and I had literally a list of demands. Literally. And I pushed the paper over to him and I was like, you're not going to get me with the dick. You're not going to get me with the words. You're not going to, you know what I mean? He's a songwriter, so he knew how to talk, right? He had the gift of gab. I was like, this is what I want. Here it is on paper. Either you give me this or you will never see me again. Well, give me, what do you mean? You got to give me 24 hours. And I had never seen him, you know, at that level, like evil, right? Now, other women I've spoken to that he's dated told me, oh no, he was evil. He talked to me sideways. I was like, he's never done that with me. But that night where I took control and I was like, you will never see, he flipped. Like he even got physical with me. He was never physical with me. And I was trying to leave out and he was like grabbing me and everything. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? It was the first time ever he flipped because they can't deal with not being in control. So he was like, holy shit, this woman I've had under control for 11 years is now telling me to fuck off. What do I do with that? And they will flip on you. So you have to be very careful. It's a thin line. So you have to be very careful.
And to our defense, because that's a real thing. Women are murdered when they leave, not when they stay.
Right.
So,
right.
And I watch a lot of ID channel too. So that was
same.
Why my ass was like, oh, I got
same. Yeah, but no, it's a sordid tale with that narcissist. So trust me, I canceled the cruise, but I got paid back tenfold.
Oh yeah, I gotta tell you about my payback.
Karma?
So,
did karma come knocking?
Karma came and got me. Okay, karma came and got me. Let me see how karma came and got my ass. Not as good as you did, but karma came. She came, rolled around and paid me a visit. Okay,
you didn't walk into the precinct handcuffed?
No, and I'm gonna tell you, my karma is always swift. It has always been swift, negative or positive. It's always been swift, right? Because it's like the universe is like, oh no, bitch, I want you to know this is for that. This just ain't, you know, oh, it's a bad day. No, bitch, it's for that. Okay, so let me tell you how this worked out.
Tristan.
So I moved out, and Bessie had just bought a new house, and then decided like, oh, I want to be a flight attendant, right? And then was like, oh, but I just bought a new house. Who's gonna like take care of my house? Blah blah blah. And I was like, I will. And that was part of my escape plan. That became part of my escape plan. And my bestie was like, who, you and Ed? And I was like, no, me. But you're a couple. I'm like, no, me. Right? So Bestie was like, okay. So we worked it out, and Bestie was like, all I need you to do is just pay the utilities, stack your coin so that you can set yourself up for this. Because I left Ed with everything. I did do that. I left him with every fucking thing. So I was starting completely over. So Bestie was like, I want you to put yourself in a position where you can, leave out and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So did that. And my old roommate that I was with before Ed wanted to become my roommate again. Okay, so my old roommate, and we're all three friends, me, Bestie, and my old roommate. So old roommate moves in. So mind you, I'm only paying like $400 like a month to have this whole 3-bedroom house to myself, 2-car garage, peace, all of that stuff. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. All right, so old roommate moves back in and was like, and was my business partner. This is who started YB Limited with me. Okay. And was like, oh, as soon as they moved in, was like, you know what? I don't like living in the suburbs. And I know you don't like living in the suburbs too. We need to move downtown. I was like, you're right. We need to move downtown. So we found an apartment downtown. I mean, like right in prime real estate, kind of expensive, but okay. I got some money saved up. Things are doing pretty well. And I got a roommate. This should work pretty well. Okay. Get the apartment, move out right away, because they wanted us to move in right away. So I didn't have anything. So me and the roommate moved in with nothing. And we were like, okay, we're just going to get the furniture on Friday. Perfect. I'm like, okay, I got my money for furniture, my half. We looked up the furniture, how much it's going to cost and everything. Thursday comes, my roommate goes to work. doesn't come home from work. But calls me that night, like, oh yeah, I'm at my boyfriend's, but I'm headed home now. Okay, see you when you get here. So about 30 minutes goes by, not there. 2 hours, not there. Next day, not there. Now, long story short, my roommate, like myself, was a recovering addict up until that night. They left me high and dry, took the furniture money, and dipped. Left me in an empty fucking apartment with all the bills.
Shit.
And I came from paying $400 a month. Going to an empty apartment.
Oh, damn, so you didn't even have a goddamn couch to lay on and brood on. You
Nothing.
Had to, be stressed out on the floor.
Stressed out on the floor. He's stressed out on the floor.
And mind you now, no. It's better. It gets better. Y'all forgot the part that this is my business partner. We had just got booked up, and he played an intricate role in the company. And we are booked up from that day, because he left on Thursday. We had a big booking. I think it was probably like our biggest paycheck yet. That next day, that Friday. And that Saturday, and that Sunday, and that Monday, and that Tuesday. So it was a lot going on. Like, yeah, it was a lot. I was put in a really, really bad bind, but I put Ed Jr. in a really bad bind.
I'm curious, Lily, why didn't he get Viagra? Because he wasn't a cop, so it's not like it was going to follow him.
No, okay, so it was ego. Well, no. Viagra was actually a suggestion from the doctor based off of another medication that he was on. The doctor suggested that, or didn't want to prescribe it to him because of the other medication. He felt like it would be a conflicting situation. Okay. But I'm a very solution-oriented person. I'm like, okay, we can scrap that and see what else we got going on here. Let's go to the doctor. Went to the doctor. Best case scenario for them was the pump. And he absolutely, ego was like, no. Hell no. I will not treat my dick like a pair of Reebok pumps. And
I love them Reebok pumps. Oh my God.
Me too. I was like, what's wrong with Reebok pumps? I loved Reebok pumps. I'll pump it for you. What the fuck is the problem, dude? But he was like, no. I mean, he just refused. Every time he would look like his wheels was turning, like he think he might consider it, he would go back to, oh, hell no. Oh, absolutely not. But then he kind of did the same thing as far as starting to try to push me away to someone else and do this, and that does make you feel
that didn't work for me. I was like, no, once a man tells me that, I'm like, ugh, no,
because I'm in. I'm in for a reason. I'm all or nothing.
And I understood why he was saying that, because I guess he figured, if I can't do it, let someone else do it. But I'm like, no, that defeats the purpose of me being in a relationship.
What's laughing at Tristan?
Yeah, Tristan's an ass.
Hey, Lily, this was all in Atlanta, right? Talking about Atlanta, did you ever go to Fat Matt's Rib Shack?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Good place. Yeah. They do ribs good down there. But the best places to get ribs down there are like the shack, like the shackiest shack, hole in the wall. Look like, I don't know if I should be eating here. That is the best place to get your ribs from in Atlanta.
Yeah, Fat Matt's put rum in their baked beans. It was like really good.
I like making ribs.
Oh yes.
I do
let's crash at Jen's and whoever survives the bullets can eat.
I do a honey brown sugar rib. Oh my! And I'm talking about the meat falls off the bone. Okay, like you can pull the bone out.
See what I'm saying, Jen? You see, I'm at the space in my life as a man where it's just like, I don't getting me with news just don't do it for me, man. Just hit me with food porn, baby. Like if you, like
Like, look at these ribs, baby.
Man, I might like, wow, that look like a phone bill.
When we link up, when we all link in Vegas, I'll make them for real. I told you already, Lily and I we're all gonna move in with you. You just gotta pay the bills around. We'll move in.
Right.
Listen, man, we can work it out, man. You feed me like that. Look.
It's gonna be one big happy family.
Clean, Jen. We love the clean.
Yes, meticulous.
Yes.
Meticulous.
I
have the clean, and so I can get fed, and I live in a clean apartment, and I can still do my thing.
Yeah, you just gotta pay the bills. You gotta pay the bills.
We might have to talk later. A couple of upsides to this. There's a couple of upsides to this.
Just a couple.
Just a little few minor details.
Right. All right, guys. How do you feel? Like we confessed tonight. We got it off our chest. We see there's still pain there. There's still trauma. We have regret. We have experiences. This was good. I didn't think I was going to be saying this much tonight, but it happened. I promise I'm going to send y'all the music video so you can see the night it happened when I was in the car. Yeah. I'm going to send you all the fucking music video. Every time I see that music video, I cringe because I remember that fucking night like it was yesterday. It was a long time ago.
Motherfucker, boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. What? My book? Shit. Don't play with me. My book is going to be a page turner. Like, what happened? But I'm telling you, I can't make my stories, my life, from my family to my relationships. It's crazy, crazy shit. Crazy shit. I don't look like what I've been through. Trust me. Mm-hmm. The fact that I'm still here and I'm intact and I still have a heart.
Right. We're not angry and bitter and shit.
Not at all. Not at all.
Because you know what though? You understand that the game is the game, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You did some shit. Somebody did some shit to you. And I think that's the problem with so many people now. They think they're entitled to something. Right. Nobody entitled to nothing, man. Everybody done did something. You're going to do something, you know, and that's the issue that I have with a lot of people right now. They behave as if they've done nothing to anyone.
You know, it's funny, really quickly before we close. Go ahead, George. Go ahead, George.
Oh, I was just agreeing with Ron, you know, like the general attitude about, hey, you know, all this should be going my way, you know, and everything should be set up right for me. And, you know, obviously life does not work that way. So
no. Yeah. I was gonna say before we close, I recruit for this resiliency course, and I have to recruit like 25 to 27 people, and we go around the room and asking them questions and getting them to divulge stuff and things like that. It's therapy and all kinds of things, and people are screaming and crying about things that happened to them and what my mama did and my sister, my friend that time, and then we always throw the curveball at them, and the curveball is, what did you do?
Yep, the part you play. What is the role you play?
In general, listen, right? Yes, in general, when have you done someone wrong or broken their heart? Everybody gets stumped.
Yep.
Because then you make people realize you've also fucked somebody over. You have someone somewhere crying and regretting meeting you. You have someone somewhere right now with a scar that you gave them. And when you flip that question on people, you will notice that it's like, oh shit, maybe I did something to somebody. Yeah, motherfucker, maybe you did. So you have to think about that. It's just like what you said, Ron. Sometimes the shoe is on the other foot. So it was great that we had this conversation. This was really, really good. And tomorrow we lighten it up. Woosah, it is Freaky Friday, bitches. Tomorrow it's Freaky Friday. The tits come out, the hair comes down, we unhook the bra. Okay, the stories are coming up. We'll have something juicy. Yes, you too, Rodville. You too, Rodville. Everybody did something to somebody somewhere at some point. We all play the villain somewhere in some story. Right. That's how life is. Exactly. All right, guys. So
our shadow self.
Yes, we are out of here. Hopefully you guys watching and lurking learn something. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much for holding me down in the chat. Tristan, take us out of here.
All right. I got a nice motivational message for
Oh God,
everybody.
I'm scared.
Uh-oh.
It's cute and nice.
I'm scared, Kristen.
So for everybody, I just wish you do this simple step and your life will be complete and you'll get all the riches in the world. Keep calm and wash your ass.
Not so
I
bad. Not
mean,
so bad.
Love you all, class dismissed.
I think I can do that. I think I could do that. Keep calm, wash fast. Good night, guys. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much, everyone, for contributing tonight. Even people in the chat who said what they did to someone else. This was very healing. Take a chill pill after hearing these things. And this probably brought up feelings for you as well, of things that were done to you or things that you did to other people. Woosah, go take a bath, go take a hot shower, have a glass of wine, relax, listen to some music. It's not easy listening to things that were traumatic that people did or, people had done to them. Okay. So tomorrow we turn up. It's party time. It will be Freaky Friday. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. If you want to contribute to the show when I'm off air, Cash App On The Block with Jen. Okay. Appreciate you. And On The Block with Jen on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and On The Block with Jen at Gmail if you want to participate on a panel or hit us with a topic or want to collaborate on an interview and what have you. Doesn't mean that I'm going to jump in there and respond and be like, yay, let's work together. This is still a business at the end of the day, so it has to be beneficial, reciprocal. Okay? All right, guys. Good night. Oh, man, Mr. Justin, you missed a good one. Woo! We were confessing up in here, but tomorrow's Freaky Friday, so pull up. All right, guys. Good night.